And now we will put 2 minutes on the clock for you to have a closing statement.
But 1 minute. I think we agreed on one each.
Discretion of the chair. I'm giving you up to 2 minutes. How about that?
Well, but is that because you will have two as well?
It will be even.
Okay, well, I don't mind it being even, it's just that.
It will be even. The gentleman is recognized for 1 minute for a closing
statement. All right, then I'll take a part of
statement.
my 1 minute to say this. We agreed on 1 minute. And if you want to change what we agreed to, I think you should at least respect me enough to say, let's change the agreement and make it two. That was our agreement, 1 minute.
And which is why I'm saying 1 minute. I was attempting to be charitable to give the gentleman up to 2 minutes. But in respect for our handshake agreement, the gentleman will be recognized for 1 minute.
I greatly appreciate the chair honoring our handshake agreement. Friends, as you can see, these issues can become quite contentious. But here's where we are. Fungibility is something that was contemplated, I am sure, when these protocols, these rules, these laws were drafted. I don't know how you can contend that people can't process funds in this way. But here's the point. We still want to provide humanitarian assistance to people who need it. I support this humanitarian assistance. But what I don't support is empowering Hamas, as Mr. Netanyahu did, so that Hamas could be the perfect enemy. He could utilize Hamas because Hamas wants to destroy Israel and say, I can't negotiate for peace. We can't have a two-state solution because Hamas is not amenable to that kind of peace talk. That is what I'm opposed to, and I yield back the balance of my time.
Gentleman's time has expired, and I will recognize myself for a 1 minute close. You have both said today that keeping money in Iraq was a benefit to Iran. So are we to assume that Iran did not support the transfer to Oman and other jurisdictions? I didn't think so. It's clear that the transfer was at the request of Iran to the Biden administration. Ms. Rosenberg said that she couldn't tell us or wouldn't tell us today in an open setting if there had been problems with the transactions out of Oman, the two transactions out of Oman that have been acknowledged. And the way I understand it, saying yes or no is not classified. But I guess if the answer is yes, you apparently didn't want to confirm that on the record. I expect a follow-up in a classified statement, in a statement setting, for all of us to understand why this is classified. Additionally, Ms. Rosenberg spoke at length about the controls of the Europeans, but the Europeans do not have control over money in Oman or Qatar. Mr. Paley repeatedly said to Ms. Garcia that there have not been any transactions. To be clear, Ms. Rosenberg said there have been 2 transactions with money in Oman and that there were problems, and she would not answer that. So what I think he meant to say is that there have not been any transactions yet using the money out of Qatar. And finally, we sent a very narrow document request on the waiver issue to Treasury that remains outstanding. Ms. Rosenberg, I expect that Treasury will produce an outstanding documents quickly. It's my duty to inform everybody that if you have additional questions all members will have 5 legislative days within which to submit additional written questions for the witnesses to the chair, which will be forwarded to the witnesses for the response. I ask our witnesses to please respond as promptly as you are able, and this hearing is adjourned.